Hi there, Krista here. Welcome to my channel. This is a weekly reading for the sign of Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you want to learn more about me, how to contact me, or about my book, that's in the description box, as well as details about the cards that I'm using, and a link to Always Astrology. If you don't already know your moon and rising signs, you can visit that link to put in your personal information, and it'll give you a snapshot of your chart and a rundown of all the signs in the planets. If for whatever reason, Virgo, this isn't resonating with you, check your rising and moon sign readings and see if those help or add any clarity to the week for you. I do hope this reading does resonate with you, however, and that you enjoy it and take something healing from it. So this is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week of April 23rd to April 29th. So Virgo, I wish for you all success, joy, and wellness. I invoke spirits of love, light, and beauty. I call upon Archangels Michael, Gabriel, Metatron, and Uriel to guide this reading in peace, clarity, protection, and wisdom. I ask Mother Gaia to bless this reading for Virgo. So I'll be doing a little bit of a different spread this week, Virgo. I'll be doing a 3-card spread with the Wisdom of the Oracle deck here. Central issue, 2 qualifiers in the bottom of the deck for the general energy for the week, and then I'll be drawing a card each from the Medicine Card Tarot and the Healing with the Angels Tarot. I'm simply trying to keep these readings under 15 minutes, but by making them a little bit shorter or smaller spreads, but they still add up to about 15 or 20 minutes, so I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind longer readings. And like I say before in my other spreads, I do look for jumpers in the cards instead of pulling them from the top of the deck. So I hope that's not irritating. If it is, just skip ahead. But I do a lot of shuffling here. Beautiful. You are feeling pretty, like you're sitting pretty this week with something, again, in a general manner. So whatever you're experiencing this week that's prominent to you, you feel like you are maybe a little bit lucky for the first time in a long time, or that you've created luck, or you know where to look for luck. And luck, just means opportunities. And imagine, wow, I think you're in a place of, you might be contemplating, look at all the blue. You might be contemplating something emotionally here that was upsetting or worrying to you before, or even scary before, that you're looking at through a different lens this week, Virgo. So that's lovely. Holy smokes. And then at the bottom of the deck for a general energy, you have higher power. Virgo, this week you feel incredibly supported and protected. And that's beautiful, because I know sometimes you can feel quite alone, or that you're above certain things, and why can't other people see what you're seeing, and it feels very lonely there. I think that you're allowing yourself to connect with something larger than yourself, and it's giving you a sense of peace, and even giving you a sense of guidance that wasn't there before. Now, whether or not you're listening to that or taking action on that, that's up to you, and hasn't been decided here. But if you're aware of that, or that you're being drawn to something bigger than yourself, higher than yourself, or something is appealing to you that wasn't before, and it's of a spiritual nature or an esoteric nature, you might have even poked fun at it before or ignored it, it's going to be speaking to you this week a little differently. So I would trust your instinct and intuition about that, and don't pass it up necessarily, because it might have something to teach you, or just tell you about yourself. I'm going to be looking at some of the language around these two cards from the book just to see exactly what they wrote about when they designed the cards. Normally interpreting them according to their language, but I do want to see just for the heck of it here. So the law of attraction here, I mean, it's just remarkable, really, the blue, like poof, right in your face. A lot of gentle energy here, loving energy here. But again, from a spiritual sense, I don't think that this is coming from necessarily material relationships. That this is a feeling, or a sensation, or a thought process. And then these are very emotional, but they're emotional in a sense where, you know how they say thoughts are things? Well, I'm going to add something in there, and that is thoughts create feelings, and feelings create things. And like I said, whether you brushed this off before or weren't willing to do anything about it or didn't have the time or whatever, it just wasn't the right place for you. You are now in a position this week, Virgo, where you're like, this is a thing. This is real. This law of attraction, higher power, the God, spirit, whatever you want to call it. It's not garbage. It's a thing. And you're looking at it for the first time this way, in a sense of, really. I mean, right? Virgo, Sagittarians, two of the biggest skeptics in the zodiac, and thank God. I mean, we can't take everything for face value. We need to examine things. But as a skeptic, especially, I think you're looking at something from a different perspective or through a different lens, and you're seeing something there that you didn't see before that is feeling or looking quite magnificent for you, in the sense of you're going to let yourself do something or feel something or behave a certain way or believe something that you didn't before, just for the heck of it. Just to try. And it's really, in that regard, Virgo, putting yourself out on a limb. So it's kind of cool. Not being a stickler for things that, always worked in the past, and I'm just going to stick to that because I know what it gets me. No, this week you are taking, it's like a hot air balloon approach instead of a feet on the earth approach, which is okay. It's kind of a cool way to look. Conceptually, it's a kind of cool way to look at the world around you, on a macro versus a micro level. But not only that, but with the overall energy being higher power from an extremely spiritual or esoteric level. I don't mean extreme like, Orthodox religious. I don't mean like that. I just mean in a sense where it might even feel extreme to you because you wouldn't let yourself go there before. Or if you did contemplate anything having to do with spirit or esotericism or higher power, God, whatever you want to call that, it was, if it wasn't completely disregarded or neutral, it was ridiculed. So I don't think you're doing that this week. I think you're in touch with something that you've had a aha moment around, where you're feeling, you're contemplating something. You're on that level that you didn't before, and you're not making fun of it this time. Okay, that's probably the best way to put that. And you also feel incredibly assisted, for lack of a better term. You're able to give to get, and you're able to get in order to give. So it's mutually beneficial here. And it could be that you're playing, let's look at this in detail a little bit. The central card is a leg up, and it literally has two polar bears, a mama and a baby. It's the card of assistance. And like I said, something is giving you a leg up, or you're helping yourself up. You feel assisted, you're letting yourself be assisted, you're assisting someone else, and through that behavior, you're benefiting yourself, or vice versa. But this is an incredibly spiritual, there's a sense of enormous spirituality here. So when I say assisted and leg up and relationships, and someone even in authority helping someone who's not, or someone who isn't in a place of authority helping someone in authority, alternately, it is on an esoteric or mind or spiritual level this week for you, Virgo. Not necessarily planted in the material world. At least this reading isn't speaking to, in a general sense, the material world. It's speaking about a set of ideals, concepts, beliefs, patterns of behavior, where you're opening yourself to something that guarantees you peace and prosperity through a sense of the law of attraction. And again, I understand if you've made fun of this before, or if you've brushed it off before. Like a decade ago, had you asked if I would be doing anything like this, or if I could have a conversation about the law of attraction, etc., or karmic attraction, or God, or angels, I would have laughed it off, right? Completely dismissed it. So, and even when I became acquainted with these concepts, I made room for them and I allowed for them, but I was still really skeptical, right? But I think it's important to be skeptical if you can remain open and willing and ready and supported, feeling that you deserve the support and you deserve this phase of your life to try something new for yourself that is going to help yourself out of something. And this is mutual support. So you're feeling supported by somebody else, or group, or thought, belief system, patterns of behavior, and they're benefiting from you. So you're getting a lot of support in the material world, in material relationships, through a sense of belonging or higher power, or being protected that you didn't feel before, or that you dismissed before. So to the right of you is Treasure Island, and this is literally the law of attraction. This is saying these are your emotions, right? And in order to experience emotions, the human animal must create what they'll be thinking about. Emotions only occur after a thought, right? So I think you're finally at a position now, either acknowledging this or finally putting it to practice, that you're part and parcel of that decision making. Whether, you can be supported all you want, you can have God on your side all you want, or feel like you have a safe relationship with a higher power all you want, but until you believe it on a sincere level, and by sincere I mean being willing. Yep, I understand skepticism, but if there's a healthy skepticism while remaining willing to accept that the law of attraction is real and your emotions do create the physical world, you're in a position this week, and maybe it's because you're meeting someone who's literally done it. You're seeing the actual physical results of someone else doing this in their own lives. And that's it for you. That's all you needed. Like, there's 200 books out there saying the things that they say or they've done. There's movies, there's blah, blah, blah. And none of that appealed to you in the way that this is appealing to you. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can do that? Oh, okay. I'm going to try that. Even if it's to test it. And I wouldn't do it in the sense of like being so skeptical that you're testing something, you're putting it to the test in order to watch it fail, or in order to see it fail, or in regards of, I knew this wouldn't work for me, that type of thing. No, I think you have to be really genuine this time about it and be willing, because this is saying that this is very real for you. This is a very real opportunity for you to imagine what you really want in the real world and to bring it to fruition. Your imagination, just like all signs, can be your best or worst enemy, right? Or best friend or worst enemy, depending on how it's used, our imagination. And it creates our thoughts. And our thoughts create our feelings. So I think you're really magnificently aware of that relationship between thoughts and feelings this week. And again, it might be a sense of like, well, duh, of course, or a sense of aha, or I always knew that. Why didn't I put it into practice? That type of thing. Like, I think you've always been really acutely aware of this. You're just willing finally to put it into practice because you see or have seen this available to someone else. You are willing to imagine the aligning of feelings and reality, right? This is the creative moment, the creative card. So don't release the sense of skepticism or the ability to question things or organize what's good or bad for you or right or wrong or that type of thing, but simply to be aware of illusions and how they could be detrimental if not being used. If your imagination is used more toward creating illusionment, or if it's more directed to creating your sense of empowerment, the reality that you really want, because that's literally what all there is. The power of intention. What do you really want? This is available to you, Virgo. Very much available to you, and you're feeling very supported and very happy. I'm going to add here, like there's a sense of camaraderie here, happiness, giving and getting. There's a very generous flow here. And if you feel like the smaller person or the inferior person in this back and forth, please don't. It takes one to help the other, and you may not even realize, and they might not even realize how much they're learning and benefiting from you in this relationship, or vice versa. If you're the authority in this relationship and someone smaller than you in stature or whatever that means to you in a general sense is helping you, it's a very equal relationship, even though you're coming from different angles. So just be aware of that, no matter what position you're taking in that relationship, that teaching or that learning or that giving relationship. So this is gorgeous, Virgo, very uplifting, very powerful, and full of intention. I think this is a week to perhaps write down for yourself, if you haven't already, your intentions, your belief systems, even your feelings. For example, creating 3 rows of, my beliefs, what they make me feel like, and what this acts like in my life. So beliefs, feelings, how they manifest. And once you're honest with yourself about that list and you have it all out, don't edit it, just get it out. It's not a test. You don't send it to anybody, and just look at it at another time of contemplation, and you might discover for yourself where you're tripping yourself up, or where you're really able to help yourself through something, or simply what you want and what you don't want, and how you're getting there. And I think once you see how much personal power you have in the world, the natural world, about bringing things into fruition, you'll see very plainly that if you have the power, like all human beings do, to bring about something you don't want, that's, believe it, the same power that brings about what you do want. It's the exact same power. Just switch it around. If it's a negative or unhealthy pattern of beliefs or systems of beliefs and behavior or relationships or relating or belief systems, that you can turn it around. Like, there's a really cool meme online, an illustration about happiness, right? Attitude, I think it's what it's about. And it's got this, but it's a cartoon, so there's this bus going around this really tight corner on this really super high mountain. And of course, there's seats directly against the rock wall over here, and there's seats that overlook the entire drive. And there's, what side are you sitting on? Really, that's what that's saying to me with regard to your reading this week, Virgo, is what do you want? What do you want to see? What do you want to experience? Because that is within your hands, and being willing to be available to that and being willing to be brave enough to act and behave and have a certain attitude, right, is the difference between getting there and wanting to get there. So I was really hoping this reading didn't take 20 minutes, sorry. Just looking for 2 more messages for Virgo for the week of April 23rd to April 29th. This is for Virgo for the week of the 23rd to the 29th. Just 29th for Virgo here. What are they trying to tell us here? Something very specific. For Virgo, the week of April 23rd to 29th. There we go. And out of the medicine card deck, we have the bat. I'm just going to have to look this little guy up. I kind of forget what he stands for. Oh, Rebirth. Wow, no light card there. Okay, so this is really you coming out of a dark shell that you've been in, that you realize, thank God, now and forevermore, that you don't belong in. You don't belong in a shadow. Nobody's shadow, even the one that you think that you did for whatever reason, or that you put yourself in or was put into. You're seeing things from a much higher perspective. So your goggles, your lenses on the world have changed this week, Virgo. Thank God. And you're experiencing a rebirth of sorts. Now, I'm not seeing that you've been here where this is for you intellectually, spiritually, or esoterically before. It's just that you are looking at it differently and are accepting things about it that you know for certain are very real and very distinct, like the law of attraction. So this is beautiful, rebirth. You're ready for something new. You're ready for things to shift for you and to be responsible for doing it. And here you have trust. You're in a position of trusting yourself. And I don't think you felt this way for a long time, or you've had trouble feeling like this for a long time. And it's also the card, its sister card in the traditional tarot is the card Temperance, which is being gentle with yourself. And there is a huge element of trust in temperance, that it is day by day. And this is a new level for you. And it's important to get to these levels, to say goodbye to what wasn't working and to trust that what comes before you, and to trust this process, that this is the way that you ought to be going, and it will bring you to your highest good and your highest accomplishment. So keep working day by day toward your highest good, Virgo, and trust that you're protected, and that what worked for others in the law of attraction, in looking for help from others and in providing it, and using your imagination for positivity and for creative and beautiful, worthwhile outcomes, um, is the way to go. You don't have to use your imagination to get where you've always been before. I think you finally know you deserve better. So I hope that resonated with you, Virgo, and that you enjoyed the reading today. Please join me next week for your next weekly reading. And until then, take good care. Bye now.